What if every day you could set up 1, 2, 6, 20 different agents inside your ChatGPT account to go to work on your behalf? This is no longer a fantasy. This is becoming reality. And if you don't know who I am, of course, my name is Griffin Thomas. I actually own a pest control company in the Dallas, Texas area, Preferred Pest Management. Probably see it on my shirt right here. We've been in business for about 5 years. And on my channel overall, I just document my business journey. And those of you that have been following the channel for a while now know that I have really just gone all in to a certain degree on this AI movement. I'm not here to discuss ultimately if I think it's good or bad for society over the long haul, but at the end of the day, as a business owner, you have to adapt or die. And we are getting multiple calls per week as a pest control business. Keep in mind, a pest control business. We are getting multiple leads per week from showing up in AI overview, showing up in ChatGPT search, even Perplexity, I believe. And if you're wondering how do I even know that, of course, we use marketing tracking software that gives us UTM endings or whatever to our URLs, that if you ever click on a URL that you see in Google search or something like that, you'll see this very long URL with a bunch of tracking code. And that's how we know ultimately, long story short. But with that, I just want to dive right into this because like I said, this is very, very important. As we know, AI just continues to change what feels like on an hourly basis right now. And ChatGPT released the agent mode. I think it's officially released to everybody. I saw about 10 to 15 days ago, maybe even more at this point, that some people were starting to get access to it. For me, it took a little bit. I've only had access to it for about a week or so now. And let me tell you guys what, this thing is powerful. And I should start this off by saying, obviously, like everything with AI, your prompting is everything. Your following up with it is everything. One thing that I actually really like about this agent mode is you can actually follow up with it in real time. You can take over the screen. But before I get too far ahead of myself, like, what is agent mode? What makes it different from like operator mode and web search and deep research, all these other tools? What makes the agent mode special is it has its own PC setup, and it pulls it up like a screen that I'll show you guys here in just a second, and it will literally go to work. And now, obviously, when you're first getting set up, depending on what all you are having it do, it's going to be needing your assistance for things like logging in, depending on, again, what all you're going to have it do. And I should mention as well that a lot of people are kind of skeptical. They're like, oh, I don't want to give out my data, this and that. If you're that worried about it, in my opinion, there's lots of different like password tools, reset tools, things like that if you're just overly concerned about it. But at the same time, am I comfortable enough with it yet where like I'm giving it access to my bank accounts and my QuickBooks account, things like that? Absolutely not. But is it something that you can do? Yes. And is it something that will be able to be done much more securely, probably within the next like 3 to 6 months? Absolutely. But I'm going to go over what I believe is a pretty powerful use case for business owners, especially those of you who know how much your online presence matters. You can see here, I actually fed it a pretty lengthy prompt that I used that was actually generated by our prompt creator assistant, a GPT that I made a while back. And I believe it is a public GPT if you guys want to use it. It is not perfect by any means. Usually I have to like converse with it for 2 or 3 messages back and forth before I get an outcome that seems to be pretty dang good, but it definitely gives you a good starting point. And like I said, you guys can see here, this is just one single prompt that we give this operator. I'm so used to saying operator, it's taken forever to get used to saying agent, but we gave it to the agent and the agent went to work. It obviously had to read everything for a few seconds. It said what it was going to do, and then once it said, do you want me to go ahead and start, you just hit continue, and then it will go ahead and go to work on your behalf. So if I go down here and click play, you'll actually get to kind of just rewatch how it loads up. It loads itself up. It says it's opening a desktop tab, and it's telling you literally step by step, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm doing this right now, this page is not accessible right now. Like, it walks you through step by step what it's thinking, and then you can literally scroll through this. This is after the fact, of course. Obviously, when it's live, you can sit there and watch this thing if you want. And I, of course, gave this thing access to our WordPress. I prompted it to where no matter what it does, it never actually publishes the changes that it does. It only puts it into draft status. And I should clarify too, obviously, whenever it's editing, say, a live page, anything that it would save would go live, right? So we don't ever have it actually edit live pages. What we have it do is audit live pages. It gives us reports so deep that we can just copy and paste the little changes that it says to do with internal links, external links. But say we have this go create a new blog post, we literally have it create it start to finish and schedule it to where once that schedules, obviously we have another automation in place where it will go into Loom Loomly and schedule out social media posts across all of our social platforms, to where all I literally have to do is kind of come in, proofread everything it did. If it had a little glitch or something, kind of fix it. I like to take a screenshot and even share it with it and say, hey, like, you messed this up, so it knows, because it's constantly training itself. And then from there, I can just save the post, and then all the work is done. I have a 1 to 2,000 or more, depending on how many words I tell it, supportive article for our, what I like to call the money pages on our pest control website. And then all I got to do from there is go over to Loomly, and if I need to upload a photo, I upload the photo. If I need to, again, make a little tweak to the text or something like that, make my little tweak. All in all, what used to be at the bare minimum 1 to 4 hours of work now takes me about 2 to 10 minutes at the most. And this isn't even considering how much time it took before even tools like Loomly first came out. I remember back in like 2019, 2020, when I started my business, and the legitimate only way to go about doing it, unless if you wanted to fork out some serious money, was to go social media page to social media page, coming up with unique social content, you know, that's good for Instagram, good for Facebook, good for LinkedIn, where now this is all done on the back end. So if you go way back, you're probably talking saving a bare minimum of 3 to 4 hours, maybe even more, depending on, again, just how much keyword research you're doing, how much you even know about writing blogs in the first place, supportive blogs, internal linking, doing reach out for backlink building. This stuff could take hours or even days in some cases to just get one solid page post up on your website. Now with a really good prompt and some guidance on the keyword or page that you're trying to support, you can have your blog post and your social media content ready to go while you're off doing something else, hopefully productive. And then all you got to do is come back, make a couple tweaks, and then you're good to go. And I did not realize that I wasn't leaving this thing plain, you know, because I think it's just very cool to watch kind of how it unfolds. And I mean, like I said, guys, it walks you through step by step. I click inside the search box and, you know, oh, I forgot to hit the click button to search. I'll click the button. Like, it walks you through step by step by step, every single step that it is doing. And see, now it's even inside of an article that we did a while back, and it's analyzing it for us. So like I said, guys, this stuff is so powerful. And this is just getting started. I mean, I could literally just upload a video of everything that this did. It says it only worked for 8 minutes. It worked for about 30. So I don't exactly know where it comes up with the numbers on that exactly, but you can sit there and just watch every single thing. You can see here now it's in reading mode. It's actually reading the entire page, looking for the meta tags and viewing the source code, just all this stuff that, again, if you were to try to just do it step by step by yourself, good luck. So then what it actually did in this example is it gave us a whole SEO audit and just overall strategy of just different things that we could do. Now, either A, we could act on this ourselves, or B, we can tell it, hey, you know, go ahead, get to working on it. Like I said, you know, I was really testing this thing. I was like, you know what? I got time today. I'm just going to sit and watch everything that it does. Of course, there's another thing here that we could, again, watch. It says 15 minutes. It was more like 35 or 45 even. But just going through every single thing that it did edit our bedbug page. I was watching that live. And then I told it, of course, to keep working on our ant control page. And then I had to take control because I noticed it kind of got stuck. And that's what I'm saying too, guys. This stuff is still very early. So it's not to a point where you can literally just set it and forget it right now. But there have been tasks that I have put this thing to, like simple tasks. Like, for example, my wife had a accident recently. Thankfully, she was okay and everything, but it totaled out her minivan. And we were like looking up all these different cars, going from Car Gurus to Carfax to, you know, dealership websites, all these different things. And then it dawned on me after like 15 minutes. I was like, what am I doing? I was like, I can use this AI agent, prompt it real quick with, hey, this is what we're looking for. This is our budget. This is how far we are willing to travel to buy a vehicle. Get to work and make me a list. And sure enough, within about an hour, the agent not only found all the cars that we had found ourselves, but it found another 6 of them. One of them was one that we actually ended up buying. Now, did I have to use agent mode for that? Maybe, probably not. I probably could have gotten away with just using the either a deep research mode or maybe even just browser mode. It's hard to say for sure, but again, it was like brand new. I'd only had it for like a day at the time, and I was just excited about it. I wanted to see what it would do in real time, so I let it get to work, and that's what happened. But like I said, guys, this stuff is super powerful. This was actually some issue I had. I was trying to pull it up on my phone. I don't know if there was some kind of issue with trying to use it on the desktop and phone simultaneously or something, but I did run into some little issue. A quick thing or two that you guys should know about this tool as well is it depends on which tier you are on, how much access, if any, you're gonna have. I know for the plus membership, like what I pay for, it's like $20 a month. Right now you get somewhere around 40 different like tasks per month, and what those include is like anytime you like follow up with it, or like say I were to restart this chat right now, that would count as like a actual numbered task. So you get 40 of them, and I'm not gonna lie, they go very fast. I've used 28 or 29 of them after less than a week. Now, of course, as we start to learn more about this and how to use it properly and things like that, the overall usage will become less, you know, as you get your prompting figured out and you don't have to like restart it or break in, whatever the case may be, as often. But I will say it is definitely a selling point of OpenAI, is because the pro version, or whatever that like top tier $200 a month version is, you get 400. So yes, you're paying 10x the price, but you're getting 10x the output. And I'm not gonna lie, I have like not had the free version of ChatGPT in a very long time, so I don't really pay attention to what all it comes with, if it even has this feature yet. I'm guessing it's also at 40 or even less, maybe like 10, knowing how little they give the free people. But either way, I would suggest you guys, if you have access to this, just play with it a little bit, you know, and don't waste them. Now, if you have 40, 10, whatever the case may be, don't waste them. Don't try to have a conversation with this thing. Like, you need to go in. I compare it to training an employee, quite literally. Like, you should have a standard operating procedure. Again, let's go back to like our original prompt here. You can see, look how long this prompt is. Like, a lot of people, whenever it comes to ChatGPT and all these tools, are like, oh, don't overcomplicate your prompts and da-da-da-da-da. With chat, yes, that is completely true. When you're doing like a standard chat, totally get it. You want to kind of make it concise and then just make little tweaks from there. But whenever you're using agent mode, I've had much better success the more in depth that we get with it. So literally think about it like you would an employee. Say you were hiring a human with zero experience, zero knowledge, just dumber than a box of rocks, sub 80 IQ, like we're talking dumbest of dumb, right? Think about that and then literally just go and just make a SOP. I was just using like a Google Doc or something first. Just get like a rough draft, and then again, find some type of prompt creator. You don't have to use mine. I mean, I don't make any money off of it, but just, you know, find some type of prompt creator assistant GPT that you can use, plug it in there, again, chat with it back and forth a little bit until you get a prompt that you think is going to give you the best chance of success, and then just plug it in. And again, also, I wouldn't suggest doing something like what I did. I mean, this is a pretty complicated task here. I mean, I was having it go into our WordPress, go into our Canva, create photos for the blog posts. Like, I was having to do a lot. If it's your first time using agent mode, I was just keeping it pretty simple. Like, be like, hey, you know, I have this Google Sheet. I need you to update this Google Sheet, because that's a whole nother thing that it's very powerful on, that I could do a whole nother video on in the future. This agent is ridiculously powerful when it comes to updating spreadsheets like nothing I've ever seen before. So I would definitely start with something like that, or just something within your Google Drive, or maybe your Gmail, you know, have it send an email to you or something like that. Like, again, just play with it a little bit, and then as you build more confidence with it, you know, start playing around with it even more. And my challenge to you guys this week is find one task that you, again, I try to mention this every like AI video that I do. Find one task this week that you can quote unquote automate, and if not completely automate, at least reduce the amount of time that it requires of you by a solid 70 to 90%. Again, think about this blog example. Something that would take me to do just one article, a bare minimum 4 to 12 hours worth of actual work. I'm not even counting like all the screw off time. I'm saying like dedicated, you know, just boom, like dedicated hours, 8 to 12 hours minimum for myself to do. Taking that down to like 5 minutes or so on average. Find one thing like that. Let me know in the comments down below the different use cases you have used the ChatGPT Agent Mode for. And if you're not already subscribed already, what are you doing? Go ahead and subscribe. Hit the bell icon down below. We try to do a live stream once or twice a month on this channel, just like general business Q&As. And like I said, I'm just here documenting my entire business journey. I don't have like an AI community or AI channel, AI school community where, you know, oh, I'm selling you all these prompts or anything like that. Like, I'm just a dude who owns a home service business that realizes that this AI gold rush is the biggest gold rush since the .com era. So if any of that interests you, like I said, subscribe. Feel free to join our Facebook groups, Discord groups. Those are technically like pest control business communities, but again, we're all about just the evolution of the technology, and I post about that in those groups as well. I always tell everybody, this is not just a straight up pest control channel. This is not a straight up AI channel. It's just kind of a everything entrepreneur channel, so to speak. It's just me documenting my journey. So again, if that interests you, if you like the Q&A formats and stuff like that, I get in the comments with you guys. I'm not some popular YouTuber who's got so many comments that, you know, I'm not going to be able to read your question at the end of the day. So if any of that interests you, subscribe, join our groups. And if you haven't seen our video about how I created a CFO AI agent, I'll make sure to link it somewhere over here, maybe even above me. I forget where it'll be placed exactly, but be sure to go watch that, and I'll see you guys in the next one.